was always into studying and exploring and figuring out new things. Like in Egypt, he got his agriculture degree from Egypt, but he taught French in Congo, and he came here and studied law. So he was always like looking for bigger things and to just continuous improvement of his career and studies. He was always looking for more, hungry for more. I mean, even regardless of his age. So that's something that I admire him for.
I first met Stuart in our first year of law school, and he was one of sort of those obnoxious people that sat in the front row and thought they had all the answers, and if they didn't have all the answers, they certainly had all the questions. So I thought he was sort of outgoing and boisterous. Sarwat is his birth name, Sarwat Sabet Fahmy. And when we started practicing law, initially, he didn't think people would have an easy time saying Fahmy, let alone Sarwat. So he became Stuart for professional reasons. He thought it was easier to go by the name Stuart. So people who knew him before law school still call him Sarwat. People who know him post-law school know him as Stuart.
My goal at the time was to go to Congo and work there for a couple of years, save some money, and then come back to Egypt and do some sort of an entrepreneurial work. My students at the University of Katanga in Congo, unfortunately I don't remember their names, it's been almost 50 years. Because what happened was, I saved quite a bit of money, but then there was nothing to do in Congo, and I'm kind of a little bit of an impulsive spender, if you want. I took the money and went to Europe and unfortunately blew it all up. I mean, just all of the savings that I had were gone. And right before going to Egypt, the United States had just opened its immigration again to some of the Egyptians. So I basically went into the American Embassy in Cairo and filled out an application. In the middle of the second year of my teaching in Congo, I got a call from the American Embassy. They said, well, your petition has been approved, come in for an interview. I went in, they interviewed me. They handed me a green card, and I came to the United States on August 21st, 1970. There is always some nostalgic feelings when you leave your country of origin. I must admit the first year or two were somewhat tough, and there was a lot of tears sometimes at night when I was by myself thinking, what am I here for? I mean, I should go back to Egypt where my mother was there, my siblings, all of my friends, and so there was some tough times. Obviously, as the years went by, that feeling subsided. My company actually is three prongs. One is legal work. We represent clients in real estate matters and employment matters. And I have a land development company called Kalandev, and we also have a mortgage lending company called LoanCo Inc.
One of Sarwat's best attributes is he is a phenomenal negotiator. He uses both humor and reason and cleverness, if you will, in negotiating resolutions and finding problems. So he's a very astute businessman.
And I don't understand people that tell me that they're miserable at work. I cannot understand why would any human being spend at least 60% of their time in a miserable job. You know, it doesn't make sense to me. I have used the educational system here by continuing to educate myself. I mean, continuing to have degrees, and I have gone and through the years educated myself until like I just got my last degree like 4 years ago. So even though I'm 68 now, by keeping yourself educated and going to school and going to seminars and learning, it really keeps you young, mentally and otherwise. In 1974, I applied for my citizenship, and I got it in the beginning of '75, and I immediately applied for my brothers and my mother and my sister to come over to the United States. And the process took a few years. It took about 3 years before the family got together, all of my siblings, all of my mother, and then my mother brought her sister, and her sister brought her kids, and so the family grew, whereby in any given weekend nowadays we have like 45 people at home just for the immediate family to get together and have fun.
My life in Egypt was way different than my life here. I was in Catholic school. We were all brought up in Catholic schools in Egypt. And when I came, I was 16, and my brother was in LA. So we all immigrated to Los Angeles. And I had to finish my high school here. And I went from a private school in Egypt, all nuns, all girls, to public high school in LA. So the culture shock was great, with people doing drugs and kids making out and stuff that I wasn't used to. So I was crying every night. I didn't know any English. It was way different than what I was brought up.
Shortly after they arrived, they started, adopting to the American way of life and enjoyed it. And testament to that they're all here today, still, after almost 40 years. Almost all of them stayed with me initially until they got their feet on the ground, found a job, and then got used to the way of life here. They went on their own. The family life in Egypt and the social life and the interaction, I don't know if I would say better, but it was a lot different. We tend to get together almost daily, scream a lot, yell a lot, cry a lot. We're all loud and love to have fun and love to scream and play cards and play backgammon and just watch TV, watch football, soccer here you call it, and just enjoy it. And that's part of our lifestyle. And it's a daily occurrence. That does not happen here in the United States as frequently as it does in Egypt. I mean, yes, there are parties and there are, we can go to the park together, but it's not the same.
We're very fortunate. My husband and I and Sarwat and my brothers and their families are all established within the 20-mile vicinity here. We're all in the South Bay, and we all have the same sort of circle of friends. So we're all still pretty loud and obnoxious sometimes.
It's like dessert at the end of a working day that you go and see the family, whether it's your immediate family, being my wife and my children, or my siblings and their children, and getting together over the weekend. We all look forward to weekends and days off, so you work hard during the week, hoping that you will see them and enjoy their company over the weekend.
Every weekend, at the very minimal, we see each other at church and after church. But most of the time we have like the kids' birthday parties, the graduations, the weddings, the engagement, the anniversaries. We all celebrate all that together. I really enjoy that. And I know Sarwat enjoys that a lot. We all do. We all do.
Sarwat is probably sort of a godfather-like figure. I think his family members and extended family look upon him as someone of wisdom and resources to help resolve issues or dilemmas.
I can't live without people. I cannot be by myself. I've never been a loner. I've never been able to do things without having other people around me. And I get an awful lot of motivation and understanding and knowledge by talking to people. It's amazing what we can do if we just want to do it. It's very simple. If you want to do something, you're going to find a way of doing it. As long as it's legal, of course. Even if it's illegal, you're going to do it too. So make up your mind, what do you want to do? If you're willing to pay the price of being who you want to be, you're going to get there. Know your limitations. But if you want it, you're going to get it. You're going to get it. I guarantee you.